What's going on, guys? It's your boy Anthony, alongside the best Big 3 account in the universe, Big 3 News, aka my guy, Will. How's it going, Will?
I'll tell you what, it's been one heck of a roller coaster of a week, for
Mm-hmm.
Anthony, for a couple things that's been going on. And then, you know, I will say I was a pretty, I was never crazy into stocks, but I sort of got into a little bit of the mania
Mm-hmm.
this
Same.
in the later part of this week. And oh my gosh, I'm starting to regret everything. But in a way, I've never felt more alive. So I'm excited to see what happens after this weekend.
Yeah, same here. It's going to be an interest. It's been an interesting ride. It's going to be an interesting end resolution if it does come to a close here soon. But appreciate everyone who's tuning back into another edition of the Fourth Man. We have a great show for you guys today. I think this is the first time in back-to-back episodes where we've had, pretty big news from a Big 3 perspective. So that's really exciting here, and an awesome interview on the back half of this episode. Before we get into some of that news, as always, if you want to find the show on social media or you want to find our personals at Fourth Man Pod, at Big 3 News, at A_Siggy. You can also watch the show on YouTube, youtube.com/Fourth Man Pod. If you like the show, please subscribe, leave some comments and some feedback. And for those of you tuning in on Dash Radio on the Nothing But Net channel on this lovely Saturday, we appreciate you guys as always. Or if you're a first-time listener, appreciate you tuning in. This is a perfect time for you to tune in because things
Absolutely.
are ramping up. And let's just get right into it. Big news from one of the co-founders, Ice Cube. He was on the Dan Sileo show, I guess earlier this week. And for us, our eyes just like light up when we hear Big 3 talk with one of the co-founders on any kind of podcast, and really release some, I would say, I guess, some good news, or it could even be some concerning news. I mean, for me, I was a little concerned up front.
Yeah.
So Ice Cube says on the Dan Celio show, he said the league is looking to play in one centralized location for the 2021 season, like a bubble. And then they're still expecting to come back, figuring out some logistics to tip off in 2021. And with that, they're looking to return in 2022 to 10 locations. So initially hearing this, I'm like, oh yes, this is awesome. Like, the league is coming back in 2021. I'm excited. But after thinking about it and having some time to go back and listen, the fact that they're still figuring out logistics brought a little bit of concern to my attention. I don't
Hmm.
know about you though.
I mean, I don't know about concerns. I have no idea what it's like to plan a league. So in all honesty, planning out logistics. What does that mean, right? Are they really planning out logistics, or is that just you know rich person talk for we're not ready to tell everything yet.
Sure.
We're still figuring things out, and I don't want to be caught with my foot in my mouth. So I'm just gonna leave it at we're still figuring things out. But listen, I'm glad that they at least have a concrete plan that this thing is going to be in a
Yes.
bubble. So
Yes.
now guys who are, we keep on saying a bubble, right? But it's
Yeah.
not really going to be a bubble. It's going to be, because I feel like when people think of a bubble, they think of the NBA bubble. And that was
Mhm.
like, locked down, nobody in, nobody out, and
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be like this. I mean, they're expecting fans, right? So it can't be
Yeah.
that much of a bubble. Um, so I think it's probably going to be, we talked about this, we theorized this, the schedule we always said is probably going to be somewhere where they can allow fans.
Hmm.
So this bubble is going to be somewhere where they can allow fans, and it's going to be there for, I think one of the biggest factors that we're going to have to figure out is length of time. How long is this
Yes.
season going to be? I personally think it's probably, or they should make it shorter.
Hmm.
And I think the other thing too is, all right, so now who's in, who's out? We
Yes.
know that instead of just now, all right, well, you had to dedicate a couple weekends in the summer to this. Now it's gonna be, you're gonna have to dedicate, probably at least a month of your
Hmm.
summer to playing the Big 3. So is that a game changer for somebody? Is that a deal breaker? And it's gonna be interesting to see who says yes, who says no.
Yeah. So here's the intriguing part to all of this. When they say logistics, I think it's interesting because they do have some sort of concrete plan. Like you said, it could just be talk for, PR talk for, we're not really sure all, the whole plan, but we have an idea of where we're going. And why I find it interesting is because we recently heard Joe Johnson say he's still waiting to see what kind of news the Big 3 drops.
That's true.
We you just said on last week's episode that Will Bynum said, number 7's on point. These are, small speculations and small small things that I feel like could be alluding to the fact that maybe they know something, maybe even a little something. But with all that being said, excitement, concern, intrigue, I think the best part is they have some kind of plan for 2021, and even better that they have a plan for 2022 with at least 10 locations, which is huge.
Yeah, and to add to that, what you said, if we're talking about Instagram comments, I do have to say, when the news was first announced and I broke it on Instagram, one of the people who originally commented was our guy Shaney, who does the Big 3 Please, and
Right.
we're both very in touch with Shaney, and he commented and he says, I don't know how to feel about this, and he said, my takeaway is I think we're going to see a lot of young guys and a lot of the older retired guys are going to stay away from this.
Could
and
be.
So that's his perspective, and I commented on that, and I said it depends. I said that's absolutely something that we could see. I said, but what I think that they should do to sort of keep some of those old retired guys is they need to shorten the season, play a couple times a week. So instead of an 8 to 10 week season, it's only a 4 to 5 week. And so, who liked that response? Joe Johnson.
That's good. And I think that's just another thing that could be alluding to maybe they know a little bit more than they're putting off. But here's something too with that. I mean, this is a league about player empowerment. No one emphasizes that more than the Big 3 in terms of professional basketball, Fireball 3 leagues. So when the Big 3 is coming to a decision, in my mind, I got to think like there's got to be some say from the players when they're talking about this. Obviously the co-founders and some of the people on the board are going to have some say into what's really going to happen and the original concrete idea. But I have to imagine in a league of player empowerment, they're going to be trying to get some ideas from the players. Hey, would this be more suitable for you? Hey, should we play twice a week? And so we can shorten the season. You're not maybe stuck in this one area for long periods of time.
Yeah, well, there is the board, right? I don't know the current members of the board, but I know at least in season 3, it was basically all like the OG captains. It was Kenyon Martin, Steven Jackson, Jermaine O'Neal, and I forget who the other ones were off the top of my head, but I think JYD was another one, but so I don't know what exactly that board looks like. Their leadership structure isn't really something that's very public. So I don't know the decision. I would have to imagine that they got at least some player feedback before making that decision. But if I'm being honest with you, from everything that I've heard, and these are from draftees, captains, co-captains, nobody knew if the league was going on. And that was, last month. So although I do agree with you, maybe a few guys, maybe those individuals had some idea or it was getting approval from them, but I don't know if I'm ready to fully agree with that statement there. I do agree with the broader statement that yes, they're big into player empowerment and things like that, but I got to disagree. I think, to be honest with you, I think Ice Cube saying on the Dan Celio show and then us posting about it was probably the first time a lot of these guys were hearing it, because I will say when I posted that, I'm like, it'll be interesting to see what type of response this get. And I got a lot of likes from players. Usually a little bit more so than usual, more than just, the average highlight or, the average graphic. This got a lot of more attention. So I'd have to imagine that this made the rounds around, group chats or things like that.
Sure. Maybe so. I definitely agree with that. I think it's a fair statement that, hey, maybe they were in the unknown. And ultimately, I'm hoping this isn't the news that Jeff K was talking about in November. I hope this wasn't the big secret, because this isn't giving us, too much more excitement. But with them, having some logistics in play or trying to figure everything out, I'm still questioning, like, is this going to be something that is still in the summer?
Yes, I think so.
I would think yes, but now I'm thinking like it's either they're trying to fit this all in within a month, kind of similar to like the G League bubble where they're just February and March championship, beginning of March, start the league in early February. But it's interesting. I don't know how far along in the process they are, but it's exciting in terms of like they've come out and said they're expecting to play in 2021, and we're really not in a position where we're going to be like, oh, we don't believe you. I mean, we have nothing but excitement for anything, any kind of news or any kind of like news alluding to the fact that they're going to return. So we'll just continue to keep an eye out for that. Obviously, Big 3 News always has us covered in all aspects, and we'll
Hey
just
man, I mean, listen, we'll see, right? Who knows?
for sure. Well, one guy who said that he's committed to the Big 3 is reigning Big 3 MVP and Joe Johnson, who seems like anytime there's somehow some way to play basketball, Joe Johnson's name is entered into the ring. Recently, it was announced that he'll be playing for Team USA next month alongside veteran NBA guard Isaiah Thomas and another guy that we've been pleading for to play in the Big 3. They're going to be playing for Team USA next month in San Juan, Puerto Rico for the America Cup. He was a second NBA vet. I mean, at this point, it's just like if there's some kind of basketball game or league that Joe Johnson's able to play in, we should expect to see his name in there or
Well,
see
I
him
will
play.
say this. It's like, growing up in church and going to Sunday school, right? They always taught us that, if more than one person is praying, Jesus is present. I don't know if they, I don't know if they said the same sentiments for you, Anthony, but that's at least always what I was told. And so I would have to imagine that the same is with Joe Johnson, right? If more than one person is playing basketball somewhere, Joe Johnson is aware of it, or he's on his way. So it's it's the same thing really. And so this is huge news, right? So it's the America Cup in San Juan, Puerto Rico. It's going to be taking place, I think, next month, right?
Yeah, next month.
Yeah, so it's him, it's Joe Johnson, it's Isaiah Thomas, it's a couple other, players. I don't know how they fill out that roster, but I'm excited. Anytime Joe Johnson's playing, I'm excited.
Rooting for him always. And I think, and here's me speculating again, I'll never get out of speculation season until I have some concrete answers. But playing alongside a guy who we wanted to play in the Big 3,
That's true.
Isaiah Thomas. I mean, let's just say some news drops while they're in Puerto Rico together. Hey, Big 3's coming back. Hey, you should play in it. That'd be cool. I mean, you don't have to, but if I'm captain, if you're in the player pool, you don't become a captain, co-captain. I draft you. Yep, just small talk.
Well, I mean, I will say this, Anthony. You know what this kind of reminds me of on almost a smaller scale.
Ooh.
As lifelong Nets fans, you and I both are. One of the biggest things about Kyrie and KD's relationship formed, and DeAndre Jordan as well, in those Olympic teams.
True.
And they said during that bonding period together, like, we're going to play there. So could something similar happen between Joe Johnson and Isaiah Thomas?
That's very interesting.
They're playing together. I don't know what their past relationship is. There's sort of I'm sure there was some overlap, but really when I think of Isaiah Thomas's time in the NBA, I feel like it was maybe a little bit after Joe Johnson's time. Maybe they overlapped a little bit, but so I think maybe they're playing together, and then exactly what you said, maybe news breaks, or Jeremy Pargo calls Joe Johnson. He's like, hey, we're thinking of changing the colors for triplets, or like whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then I say something like, oh, who are you talking to? He's like, oh yeah, and we're just getting this thing ready for the Big 3. Oh yeah, that's right. You pulled out the Big 3. How is that? And then Joe's gonna be like, oh, it's great. I love it. Things like that. I say, Tom's like, huh? He had a tryout for the Pistons.
Yeah.
Because of his stuff, or because of Joe Johnson and who Joe Johnson is. But really what helped him out was the stuff that he did in the Big 3. And Isaiah Thomas might like that spark a little bit. And he's like, you know what? Maybe this might be the next best place for me. So, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. It would be very intriguing on a number of levels to see Isaiah Thomas in the Big 3.
Both
reputation and everything. But, there really isn't anyone like him in the Big 3. I mean, the closest might be like Frank Nitti, maybe, and that's just talking about just like off size. But Isaiah Thomas is still significantly a smaller, more traditional like point guard.
Yeah, in a very physical league, and a league where you're on a lot of one-on-one island situations playing defensively. I mean,
he did it in the NBA, and there are big guys in the NBA, but I don't know. It'd be very interesting. I'm not saying that he can't do it. I'm just very interesting to see what I actually am pretty confident that he would be able to figure it out.
What would you say? Maybe more like a Will Bynum? Like, I mean, that's
okay,
yeah,
you know what? That's a good one. Like a Nate Robinson as well. I don't know why I forgot about Nate Robinson, but. No, but you're right. Absolutely. I don't know.
I would have to say, and for those of you watching on YouTube, you get the luxury of seeing this, but this is probably my favorite part of the post, seeing Joe Johnson in a Captain America suit And even Joe liked it. He said, "I like it." He's got the laughing emojis on there, and that's great. Great Photoshop skills there.
Thank you.
Team USA guy, and we're excited to see him. Hopefully, we get a chance to somehow stream it or.
I hope so. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Because it's at this point, it's just for us, we always support all the big three guys, but it feels like more and more we're supporting Joe because he is that guy playing in every league. It seems like. So,
well, let's do this well. In the spirit of supporting Big 3 guys, congratulations to Carlos Boozer on opening his tropical smoothie.
Congratulations. Yes, 100%. That was big. I mean, I feel like
I love tropical smoothie.
I do too. I was going to say for Carlos Boozer and Nate Robinson, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of Big 3 guys who are doing other things outside of basketball, but I feel like the two guys I've seen at least recently have been those two, the team holdout guys. So, congrats to Boozer opening the tropical smoothie. Big fan of their stuff, and don't know if he's going to return to the Big 3. Maybe bring some kind of marketing aspect to it, but I hope that's successful and everything.
Maybe everyone, like if you hold a team to under 30, everyone gets smoothies.
That'd be would
That would actually be crazy. That'd be
if you hit enough 4-pointers, every 4-pointer.
Oh wow!
Certain section maybe gets like
that would be kind of crazy.
Hey, just saying, this is a marketing tool.
This is free marketing material.
Yeah, exactly.
Right here. Yeah.
Exactly. So, we'll see how all that plays out. But congrats to former Ghost Baller and Power guy, and hopefully we get to see him play back in the Big 3. It felt like last year or 2019 when he was playing for Power was just a different Boozer than we saw. In 2018. So I want to see him come back. I would love to see him and Nate play again, but
that would be cool. Yeah, you feel like that's where it's heading, right? I mean, Jermaine O'Neal, we don't know what his status is. His status was up in the air 2 years ago. We don't know where it is now. So Tri-State needs sort of that presence next to Amari Stoudemire. So you feel like that's kind of where it's heading, right?
Yeah. Well, it looks like we're heading onto the right track just in terms of when we'll find out more Big 3 news. Like I said, back-to-back episodes for the first time in a while where we've had significant news alluding to the fact that there's something on the horizon where the Big 3 is going to come back into play in the 2021 season, and we're close to finding out. And as always, we'll continue to update as we learn more.
And I will say this, I before we end this, or at least we end this first half, I do have to say this. I have to give a shout out to Hoop Ball Nets. Hoop Ball Nets was a podcast that I was recently on, and it's a Nets podcast first and foremost. So we talked a lot of, Harden, KD, Kyrie, and all that stuff. But they were actually very curious about the Big 3. They were both fans of the Big 3, so I was talking to them sort of about their experiences, and we actually really sort of diverged a lot into that, and like Joe Johnson and the Fourth Man podcast. So they really showed us a lot of love. So I got to show Hoop Ball Nets a ton of love. So if you are
100%.
interested in the Brooklyn Nets, if you're looking for an NBA podcast, those guys, we had a great time on that podcast. So Hoop Ball Nets are the guys you got to check out.
100%. And I'm assuming same social media and everything as well, right?
Yes.
Hoop Ball Nets.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah. Check that out if you're interested in basketball or hearing another Brooklyn Big 3 take. None more interesting.
You haven't heard enough.
I was going to say none more interesting than with our guy Will here. So always bringing the intrigue to the table, That being said, we appreciate everyone tuning into the first half. I think that's all of the news we have for this week. However, we have a great interview on the back half of this, a Big 3 prospect, first splash award of 2021.
That's true.
And NBA veteran Von Wafer, I should say, the Dutch cookie. Appreciate him coming on. We talked a lot about his career and him gearing up to play in the Big 3 once it returns. So that being said, appreciate everyone who tuned in, and let's get to the Von Wafer interview. Today, we're pleased to welcome on NBA veteran and now Big 3 prospect, Von Wafer. Appreciate you coming on, man, and joining us and chopping it up with us. How's everything going for you in the new year?
Oh, man, first off, I appreciate y'all for having me and letting me get on the platform. That's real to a fella like me. But everything's been good, man. I just been cooling, just been grinding, just trying to elevate mentally, physically, and spiritually. Another day, another dollar. Just trying to get better.
Nice. So, you just started that Instagram account. One of the first things you said was you had a couple of resolutions that you wanted to start. But the biggest thing I feel like that I took away from it was that getting back in the swing of things, you want to play professionally again. Ultimately, was there something in 2020 that led to that decision? And you just wanted to start the new year fresh with something to kind of grind for?
Man, I've been on the grind for the last 3 years. The passion never left for me to not want to play professionally. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just a matter of getting that call. But, I've just been trying to stay on the grind, stay focused. It's my childhood dream. I know that these are my best years in my prime. I can't play forever. So I'm just ready for whatever opportunity when it presents itself. That's about it.
Oh, so what about so our relationship sort of started where you reached out to me about playing in the Big 3. What was it about that league specifically that interested you?
Man, I've been watching, from afar, and I see how big the league has gotten, and I see the potential in it. It's elevating. You know what I mean? I had an opportunity to play the first year, but I dropped the ball on it. To be real about it, I should have I should have followed through on it. I was going to try to play, but a few things happened. But the league is just it just keeps growing and growing, and I'm like, man, nothing else shaking for me. Let me just see what's happening with it.
No doubt. And what do you feel like about the league interests you, even more now? I mean, like, what is kind of the preparation that goes into, potentially playing in the Big 3 or even getting ready for that combine?
Man, like, I hold myself to a high standard. I believe I have a little bit of OCD. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm in great shape right now, but that ain't good enough. I wanna when I hit that floor, I want them to know, this guy's got game. And the thing that interests me the most and that has my juices flowing is they're letting younger people come in. So I know the competition is gonna be good. You know what I mean? I'm not
Yep.
young no more. I'm older, so I know those young guns. They're gonna be out there. They're gonna be out there at my neck. So I think about that every day, and I'm just motivated.
And so now we could talk about the Big 3 all day, but I guess I want to take a little bit of a step back first. Where did your relationship with basketball begin?
Man, my relationship with basketball, it began as soon as I could remember. I was shooting a little sock and a little like trash, like a little clothes pamper. My mom said I used to be doing that all night long. I guess that's where I learned how to shoot at. But that I've been passionate about the game ever since I can remember. Since I had memory. I don't even know. Like whenever I could think, I was playing basketball. Whenever I would gain consciousness.
That's awesome.
I wish my parents gave me that same vote of confidence. I did the same thing, but I would do like paper towels balled up after I use them and like kind of wet it a little bit in the trash can.
I
I,
used to, man, I used to take like 10 pair of socks and just roll them up into a ball.
yeah, I never got good at it. I'm still doing it, still working on my shot today. So that's the difference between you and I.
Keep working on it, man. You'll get it. Stick with it.
So obviously had a lot of success, within basketball, longtime NBA vet. You played overseas for a lot of years. In preparation for this, what I found really interesting was during your stop with the Boston Celtics, you actually, played with a lot of guys that have played in the Big 3. Just to name a few: Nate Robinson, Jermaine O'Neal, Carlos Arroyo, Chris Johnson. And there was a lot of other, interesting names on that roster. But do you have any stories from that time during the Celtics or anything that
Man,
you remember from your professional career that you're just like really like to reminisce on?
it's crazy you said Boston Celtics because you know what I mean? I was just blessed with a lot of athletic ability. I didn't mentally really know how to play the game. I just tried to just run faster than the man or just jump higher. But when I went to Boston, you know what I'm saying? I really learned about work ethic because I saw Ray Allen every day and I just was sitting back looking. I'm like, I'm not doing nowhere near, I ain't putting in nowhere near that kind of work. So that's kind of where I started to learn about work ethic and where I kind of started to put it in my game and I ain't looked back since. Ray gave me a lot of jewels. I learned the most that year from just Ray just talking to me every day and just sitting back and watching those guys and how they conducted themselves, how they carried themselves. We didn't win that year. KG got, we had a few injuries. Rondo got hurt and you know what I'm saying? But just watching them, I see why they were always in the race for the championship. They came with it every day. You know what I mean?
And you mentioned Ray Allen. Were there any other vets, or was there a particular vet during your career? It didn't have to be in Boston, any stop, that someone that stands out for you, maybe a mentor or just someone that really helped elevate your game?
I had to give it to, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect to all the other vets, you know what I'm saying? But I had to give it to Yao Ming and Ray Allen. Yao Ming work ethic is it's unreal, man. Like I, I s- I didn't really like understand. I thought I was working hard until I played with Yao Ming. Yao Ming work ethic on another level. And Ray Allen's work ethic is, you know, I hate to compare the two, but I'm just gonna say their work ethic is above the rest. And if you don't, if you're not working, they're gonna make you look bad. They're gonna make you feel bad. So you got to step up when you're on the team with guys like that. But those two guys stand out for me for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And they had great careers, and I'm sure it's a little hard to sometimes find that balance between, you know, doing enough but also enjoying your life, like outside of basketball, like balancing the two. Like even
Mhm.
referring back to that Celtics team, I mean, we didn't even talk about some of the other characters on there. You had Shaq, Big Baby, you know, you mentioned Rondo, KG, but you know, within that times or within all those times, like where did you see how they were able to, like, or were you able to experience how they balanced, you know, their home life and their work life? And do you take that into or implement that into, you know, your daily life now when you're in preparation?
Man, that's something I'm learning how to do to this day because, like, man, I'm a competitor. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I had to catch myself. I'll be like walking out in public, and it's like a dude, like I'll be trying to race a dude to get to the spot of racing. So I'll be having to catch myself because I'm the ultimate competitor. I can't even say that I mastered that. I'm learning, man. It's different. It's definitely, that's a great question because it's definitely a difference, and I'm still learning how to balance it. That's an unbelievable question, man. It's crazy you asked that. I'm
You and me
dealing with that right
both.
now. I'm dealing with that right now, trying to figure out how to how to balance that. I don't really quite know.
And then here's a question too, something that I was always curious about. For a guy like yourself who has that NBA experience, and then they go overseas to a team like Shanghai or be it wherever, how are perception of guys maybe are from China or who are local guys, and then an NBA guy comes in. How is that sort of perceived within the organization? Is there sort of a level of expectations on yourself or somebody who's coming from the NBA?
Yeah. Um, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of pressure on you when you go to China. You know what I'm saying? They don't really people don't really talk about that, but you know, it's huge pressure. It's big pressure. If you don't perform, you're gonna get sent home. It's just that's just the way it is. You know, I played there. I seen a lot of guys come and go. If you don't perform, if you don't perform under those lights, you're gonna get sent home. But with that, they're gonna give you every opportunity to be successful. The local players, they're gonna give you the ball. They're gonna put you in a position to succeed. It's just up to you. So it's a dope experience. I kind of miss it because everything was on my shoulders in China. You know what I mean? They put the ball in my hand. Listen, take us to where we need to go. So they lean on you a lot. They believe in you. If you come through, good. If not, like, man, it could be you could go home.
Well, I've seen some of those highlights of you over there, and it definitely looks like you came through. It looks like a man amongst boys. Some of those shots and those drives that you made. So
I just try to put the work in, man. I'm glad. Thank you, man. I just try to
yeah, of
put.
course.
Well, it's interesting you say that because last week we had on Mo Creek, who's overseas right now, overseas vet, you know, been playing for like 7 years. And we were talking about chemistry, you know, how it can be tough if you're moving from one country to another each year and trying to bond with those guys. Do you feel like China was like the place with the most immense pressure? Or do you feel like, you know, there was some other countries like that? Because he was telling me that sometimes they'd come in and want to sacrifice, and other times they'd be like, "Man, this is our country. You know, we want to be able to represent our country within our teams."
Yeah.
Um,
You know what I mean? They you know what I'm saying? They're men at the end of the day. They don't want,
mhm.
you know, they want to, they want to contribute. You know what I'm saying? They want to show that they worked on their game.
Sure.
It's any kind of man. If we're in China, Spain, or wherever, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to just let somebody come in and do everything. I would feel the same way. So
Sure.
it's definitely, I think it's just pride thing. They don't want to just, you know what I'm saying? They want to contribute. I think that's all that was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that's, we see that in the NBA too. It's just hard sometimes to sacrifice when you got a
Oh,
group of guys.
it is. You know what I'm saying? It is. It is. It's definitely. You got to have 15 guys to buy in to win the championship. Some guys' role might be to wave the towel. Some guys' role might be to come in and hit threes. Some guys' roles might be to rebound. Everybody's got to buy in for sure. China is just. And another thing too, you got to understand, like some of those guys are legends over there, so they don't want to come in the game and just score 2 points or something. These
True.
dudes, they're like heroes over there. So,
Yeah.
they're playing for something too. So
Makes sense.
yeah.
Are there any differences to the sport depending where you are in the world? And so like I know there's different rule sets and things they have. Like for instance, right? So I'm a big soccer guy. So I know, universally when people think of German soccer, it's much more technical. In South America, it's a lot more flashy and maybe guys are just it's like a track meet. But when you go from China back to America or in Spain, do you notice maybe any technical or concrete differences within the sport?
Man, this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm pretty sure somebody from China said this, but it's actually easier for me in the NBA than it was in China. You know what I'm saying? The game in China is more physical, like, and it's like it's physical. If you can't shoot, you're not gonna be able to play in China. And overseas is more like college. You know what I'm saying? You got to play together. You can't be out there on that one on one, like, you know what I'm saying. So it's definitely different tempos, different. Um, I mean, different gameplays, different strategies involved with each league. Like Puerto Rico is more wide open. Like, you know what I'm saying? They kind of let you do your thing, get in your bag. But the NBA to me was easy. Like that was all I had to do was stay away from Yao. Just like they're gonna double team him, so when you're throwing the ball, throwing it out, I'm either wide open or somebody's closing out. But in China, I might have one time I was playing and they had like a box triangle and two. I don't know what they was playing. It was like one dude guarding me and one dude waiting for me after half court. So I'm like,
Dang.
it just depends on what league you're in, but it's definitely different styles for each league in each country for sure. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
and I know the Big Three really touts itself as being, half court through more physical, old school style of play. So would you say that your time in China and the success you've had in those leagues just better prepares you for an opportunity in the Big Three?
Absolutely. You know what I mean? I think the big three is, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to be prepared to guard bigger guys. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it's like the Chinese thing. I don't want nobody just dogging me in the post, but the big three is gonna present problems like that. I'm gonna have to be ready for that if I do get to play. I know it's gonna be more like schoolyard with skill, like schoolyard, but crazy skill levels. So it's not like you just guarding a guy that can't shoot. You at the park playing. This guy can back you down. This guy can shoot. This guy got all kind of moves.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. I feel like I can adjust my game in any kind of situation, but I definitely been taking notes and been watching film and studying how it goes. I see what's going on out there.
Man, that's awesome.
It's definitely a grown man. It's a grown man game. You can't no little boys can't come to the big three.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking to expose anybody they can, especially.
That's what I'm saying. And you is nowhere to hide out there. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
only two of y'all. It's not five. So you're
Yeah. Well,
not holding your own. You're gonna get exposed.
100%. And they're bringing in a lot of younger guys. We've talked with a few big three guys, and I feel like the biggest thing for them has been experience. Not just in the big three, but also the NBA as well. Kind of know what to bring. But in preparation for the big three, you talk about how you're going to have to defend. Maybe some guys more physically stronger. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of isolation, so it might just be you and the guy in front of you. So, like, in your daily life, like, what's kind of a normal day look like for you in preparation, to play in the Big 3, or I mean,
So,
even anything else professionally?
yo, like I'm gonna just be real. People kind of think I'm crazy. My day is just like, my day is I stay in the house with my dog all day, and go to the gym because you know what I'm saying. Like I go to Whole Foods, the gym, and home with my dog. You know what I mean. I'm really into the working out and healthy movement or whatever you want to call it. I take it real serious. I just been off the scene for 3 years, so you know. But my day is basic: gym, Whole Foods, back to the crib with the dog.
Love it.
That's been for the last 2-3 years.
That's the best companion right there.
Man, talk about I had to. That's why I invested. It was a smart investment because I was having trouble dealing with humans. So like they just put a dog. It's been it's been the best investment, and you can learn a lot from them. You just sit back
Sure.
and watch. It's been a great investment for real. If y'all don't have a dog, man, you might want to look into it.
Nah, I have one because
Yeah,
some of
we
my
both
best
love
nights,
dogs.
yeah, some
Well,
of my best nights have been just coming home and being like, oh, I don't have to worry about friends, like
man,
your girl or anything. Like, it's just a dog.
and
And the
then
best part is they don't say anything back.
jumping on you when you get through the door,
Yeah,
always excited to
your
see.
biggest fan,
It's crazy, man.
biggest support system.
It's crazy.
So you said you've been taking notes on the Big 3. You've been doing your due diligence ahead of this draft process. Is there any specific team or a player, let's say a coach, that you really admired? Somebody you're like, wow, it'd be really nice to put on a jersey and play with or play for them.
Um, you know what I mean, man. I really like, you know what I'm saying, Joe Johnson, because he's gonna be a matchup nightmare in the Big 3. You know what I'm saying? Playing off somebody like that because you're not gonna really have nobody to be able to guard him. To be honest, to be real, because he's too tall, too skilled. You know what I'm saying? And he can shoot. Like he don't really have a weakness in his game. The only weakness in his game is that he may be older, but still though, he's still ISO Joe. You know what I'm saying? It'll be easy to play with somebody like that because you're not gonna be able to help. Because I believe that I'm gonna knock it down. I'm gonna be able to score. But it really don't matter to me though. To be honest though, I just want to be on a good team. You know what I mean? I don't have to score that many points. I'd rather win. Like I don't want to go out there and go crazy killing. I just want to play play with a team that play together and that's hard to guard, hard to beat, and we in championship competition. To be real with you, but whoever team Joe's on, they're gonna be tough to beat.
Yeah, no doubt. Are there guys, I know you've been off the scene for a few years, but are there guys that you still keep in touch with, like in the league that, you maybe talked with just to get their feedback?
Man, I'm gonna be real with you. This game, like, you know what I mean, out of sight, out of mind. But like, I was surprised one time I hit Ray Allen up on the DM, like, and he hit me back. So I gotta give Ray I gotta salute because I wasn't even expecting that. I told him that I said, "You real for that? That's solid."
Awesome.
But that's pretty much it.
Dope,
Well,
dope.
maybe you can sell it, right? Maybe you could be like, hey, Ray and I are a package deal. So you tell teams like, you bring me, I'm bringing Ray Allen.
But he'll be a problem, like, cause that dude, man, it's crazy. I know he can still put up. I believe he can still average, man, 10 to 15 points in the NBA right now. Probably
Hmm.
more than that, for
Yeah.
real. Just because he can run and shoot. Like that's you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can always use that.
Yeah, especially
So,
like imagine like those 4-point shots, like him playing in that.
what
I
I'm
mean,
saying, like,
you're going crazy.
and he can post you. So like,
Yeah.
definitely, Ray, man, come on, let's go get it. Let's get it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Let's get it.
I love it too. I mean, you think of it too, like Ray Allen, like his game is just like it's timeless.
It's
Like,
tailored for any league and it's timeless. That's the
Mhm.
perfect word. Like he can play in any league. He can play on any team. You can put him in any situation. He doesn't need the ball. Like is- that's a perfect.
Yeah. Like you think of it, like one of the biggest shots of his, not just his career, but in the NBA history, against Miami in Game 6, it came in the twilights of his career.
Yeah.
When most guys would be thinking about, packing it up, he's hitting one of the biggest shots ever.
The shot wasn't even an impressive thing. Like it was just not looking down at the 3-point line, knowing
Yeah.
what that
That's
was just
crazy.
yeah, what was on the line. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen him do it every day though, so it probably was nothing to him. But to the naked eye, just looking at it, it was something to see. But he's done that a million times, so to him, it's just work, like
And
work.
and and I didn't really anticipate getting into this, but when you know someone like, or when you know Ray, right, and then you see that shot, I don't know if you saw that live or just, everyone's seen that shot, is it just, and clearly the admiration that you have for him, is it just that much more emotional for you, where you like, I expected that to go down 10 times out of 10, or, what was your feelings in that moment?
Um, when he made the shot, I just like I wasn't even excited because I done seen him do it so many times. Everybody else
Yeah.
probably was. I would have been more surprised if he'd have missed it. Like his work ethic, I understood like why he made the shot. I understood everything. Like I just like that's just Ray. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of biased because I played with him and I seen him every day. And I seen what he's capable of doing. So just
Yeah. I
seeing,
mean,
I didn't even get excited. I'm just like, that's. I was more so looking at him put his how he get his toes down,
Yeah.
yeah.
all of the other stuff. Not even the shot. That wasn't even what was impressive to me. It was just because the dude and Tony Parker's running at him full speed. Like
Yeah.
he can't even adjust. It ain't no time left. That was a tough shot. Like that was an unbelievably tough shot.
Yeah. I mean, he's just like back, backtracking essentially
Man,
to the 3-point line, not looking at it, like then to catch the ball and with everything,
with the guy running at you full
yeah.
speed, you can't pump fake him or nothing. Like it was a
Had
lot
to
of
hit the 3. Yeah.
had to hit it. A lot of elements to that.
Insane. Be awesome to see you two, playing together, maybe being that 4-point squad or something. That'd be dope.
Man, me and Ray could play together till we 40. He can shoot it. He knows how to play too. He was teaching me so much stuff. I learned how to come off screens and stuff, how to fade screens. Like I just learned a lot watching him. Learn how to take care of my body. That's who really turned me on to the health stuff. I'm like, dang, this dude don't get tired. Like, man, I'm tired running after this dude. I'm tired. But like he eat healthy. That's what man, Boston, that opened my eyes to the work ethic, eating healthy. I wanted to do right after that. For real.
So with the big three, obviously it's been on a little bit of a hiatus, but is that something that you were following regularly, like when it was going on, or is it more like you just gone back and watched like all the games?
Man, to be honest, like I just I was just I was just kind of curious just to see what it would look like. I just wanted to see what it would look like. And then I'm a YouTube guy. I stay on YouTube when I'm at the
Same.
house, like with the dog. So so I looked at it, I'm like, this looks dope. And I just started following it. Like it's dope how they do the highlights, how they do the mixtape. I like all the vibes with it. It's I wasn't expecting that for real. It went above and beyond my expectation for real.
Are there certain aspects of the league that you like just in terms of the rules? Like obviously there's supposed to be a lot coming in season 4, a lot of new changes, but that hasn't gone down yet. But just as far as like some of the things you've seen.
I mean, it ain't really nothing to me. It's gonna be rules involved, but we hooping, so that outweighs it all. You know what I mean. But
Yeah.
it's, it's just I can't even. The only thing that I was looking at is going to 50. Like I feel like I don't know. I ain't trying to be cocky, but we gonna get there fast. Like I feel.
I love that. I love that mentality.
Coming ready. I'm coming with blood in my eyes. So, but we'll see what happens. So,
Yeah.
50 seem like it don't seem like enough points.
It might seem like it after a game. Like we said, it's pretty physical. It's getting after it.
Well, I'll tell you what, they did to 60 for 1 week.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I was
yeah.
there watching that live, and that was, at least from a fan's perspective, I felt like I was there for like 2 days. That was a long time.
But you're
4
gonna have
games to
younger.
60.
It's gonna be younger. We're gonna see though, because it is physical, but it's gonna be younger. I
Yeah.
think the guys were, no disrespect, they were a little older. They might have got
Yeah.
tired, but 50, like I'm telling you, like I'm not trying to sound cocky. That don't sound like a lot to me. I'm just being real.
Yeah. I mean, if you put in perspective, it's like, maybe a half in the NBA. Maybe not even now. I mean, like now it's like 60 or 70 they're getting to. So,
Man, I feel like I just feel confident. I feel like 50 ain't enough, but we'll see what happens.
and I think too, with that first game, I don't think as many people came in prepared, comparison to like season 2, game 1, where they were just had a different mindset. They're like, oh, okay, well, we can't let this one team run it back and win every single game,
I think it's gonna be, if they can get the league and just get it, it's gonna be real because people know me. They know how I'm coming. I don't think they want me to come out there and embarrass them. They know I'm coming. They know my work ethic. So I think that's gonna raise the intensity. No, not to pat myself on the back. I just hold myself to a high standard. And when I
Yeah.
get out there, I'm going like it's game 7 for the first game. Like even if it's a preseason game, that's all I know. So I think the competition is gonna be.
Yeah, I think captains are going to love that about you too.
Yeah, for sure.
I hope so. I go hard. I try to every day.
So you alluded to it, but I'll close on this. So let's say, pretend like this is a little bit of a job interview with us. If I'm a captain, Vandy and I are a captain, we say, Vaughn, why should we take you with our draft pick coming up? What's your response to that?
Man, all I say is just come watch me work out. I can sit up here and talk all day, man. I'm the best guy, and I'm gonna work out all. No, just come see me work out.
Okay.
I'll leave it there.
Game speaks for itself.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to end on a completely irrelevant question here. But
yeah.
In preparation for this, another thing I saw too was you got a nickname, the Dutch Cookie. What's the story behind that? Is that something that you even like are cool with running with, or is that something that just you picked up?
That name brings back memories. Those are my Houston days. Like they had it going, man. They were marketing. They had it going. Like that name brings back a lot of memories. I love that nickname. You know what I mean? It's my name, Wafers. It's cookies and Bond.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even know that until when it happened in Houston. But it's dope to me.
So the Rockets actually came up with that?
That's when it kind of began,
Okay.
Yeah, in Houston.
Dope. I didn't know if it was like a teammate or something. They were just randomly one day calling you that.
Man, no.
Okay.
That was like the fans. They took a life of its own.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's real.
There's a lot of guys in the Big 3 who instead of instead of their last names on their jerseys, they have their nicknames. Like
Yeah, they rock the
Sweet
nicknames.
Lou, Joe has ISO Joe. If you're lucky enough to get drafted, are we going to see Dutch Cookie on the back of a jersey?
Nah, man, nah. Dutch Cookie, that's gonna look kind of soft. I mean, I like the name.
Man, yeah. Fair enough. We'll just stick with your last name on the back.
Sure.
Well, we hope to see it, whenever the Big 3 does drop, expected to drop this year. So, we're going to be seeing you at the combine. Hopefully we see you on one of those teams, maybe running it with Ray, maybe running it with Joe, who knows? But
yeah, I hope so. Like I said, man, I appreciate y'all for having me on. This is big time. I've been out of sight, out of mind. I'm even more motivated now. I worked out earlier, but I got to get back in the gym. So, I talked a lot of so I know a lot of them, people going to see this. So I need to put more pressure on myself, which I like. So that'll make me work even harder. But thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate that. For real though.
We appreciate
Absolutely,
you coming on,
yeah.
man. We loved hearing about your story, and we're excited to learn more about, this journey's not over, right? So excited to hear more about it and just see how you progress and everything.
For sure, man. I'll be in touch with y'all, man. I'm gonna tap in with y'all for real.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Y'all be safe, and I wish much success to you guys, man. I hope y'all blow this thing up, but y'all heading in the right direction.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Hey, listen,
that.
we
Hey,
appreciate
same to
it.
you.
You know,
Already.
Yeah.
Already. Peace and love.
take care.
All
All
right.
right, guys, that was our interview with Von Wafer. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We appreciate him coming on with us to talk and, you know, just about the Big 3 process and where he's been. And I think I've gained a new respect for Ray Allen, to be honest with you. I don't know about you.
100%.
Yeah. So thank you guys. Appreciate everybody who listened on Dash Radio, everybody who's listening to this on your preferred podcast platform, everybody who's watching us on YouTube. Thank you guys. We appreciate everybody. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, rate the podcast just to help us out so we can continue to grow and continue to deliver Big 3 content, especially with the season coming up. You know, we really love, you know, Anthony and I, we would love to get to the bubble, you know,
Yep.
and we're really fortunate enough where it's absolutely a realistic goal for us, but all the help that you guys can give us just makes it that much easier for us. So we really do appreciate that. We're going to end it with our guy, Shaney2K. We gave him a name drop in the first half of the episode. So here is this week's edition to the Big 3 plea. As for everybody else who's not watching on YouTube, we will see you guys later.
Hello and welcome to the Big 3 plea. I'm Shaney2K, and today I'll be pitching to a player why they need to join the Big 3. Today I'll be pitching to Josh McCown. The journeyman quarterback who played for 12 NFL franchises has just retired from the game after 18 years and is now looking for what's next after football and is rumored to be the Texans' next head coach. While diving into such an important job for a franchise who desperately needs a head coach, he should look into continuing his career as an athlete before he doesn't have the chance to. McCown is an avid supporter of the Big 3 and said he'd like to join the league multiple times. Josh has dominated in charity games and has always played basketball. Being 41 years old, he'd be on the elder side of the league, and before he throws his name into the realm of coaching in some capacity, he should 100% live out the years he has left to be an athlete. McCown fans will come rushing in, football fans in general also, just to see a professional football player play professional basketball players. And we get to see the last of McCown as an athlete. I'm Shaney2K, that was my Big 3 plea.